This is a Metropolitan Police photograph of 36-year-old Polish-born George Chapman. It was taken on the 25th of October 1902 when Chapman was a live-in bar manager of the Crown pub on Borough High Street, and it was in the bar there earlier that day that he'd been arrested for murdering his 19-year-old barmaid Maud Marsh 3 days earlier. Chapman and Marsh had first met in February of 1901 while he was working at the Monument pub on nearby Union Street. After placing an advert in the window for a live-in bartending position, Maud had simply walked in through the front door. But, unbeknownst to anyone, Chapman had murdered previous barmaid Bessie Taylor only days earlier after subjecting her to years of violent abuse. He painfully poisoned her to death over a period of months by repeatedly mixing an arsenic-like antimony solution with her food, and, as her condition grew desperate, had even taken her for unnecessary surgery as mystified doctors tried in vain to relieve her symptoms. With a slow death eventually attributed to natural causes, he had simply gotten away with it. Maud, anyway, accepted the job and moved in. And when Chapman then took his position at the Crown weeks later, he convinced her to join him. Soon, however, she began displaying the same symptoms that Bessie Taylor had had, and when she became bedridden, Chapman brazenly invited her parents to stay with them as he continued preparing her food. When she then died, they demanded to know what had happened to Bessie Taylor. Police gave orders for her body to be exhumed, and so it was, along with that of a third woman, a 37-year-old Mary Spink. Spink, it was discovered, had also died while living with Chapman in December of 1897, and all three, doctors would declare, displayed clear signs of antimony poisoning. At his trial, he pleaded innocence, but was sentenced to death anyway, and on Tuesday, the 7th of April 1903, he was hanged at Wandsworth Prison by 24-year-old William Billington, whose father and two brothers were also executioners. He fell 7 feet 3 inches and was killed instantly. I'll see you back here next week for another Morbid Monday.